Thank you for joining me on this historic adventure, sponsored by Channel 24 News. My name is Ivan Putin. I am Vlad's big brother. In this documentary, we'll take a look at the legends of the great American folk hero, the Donald. By the way, Vlad says hello and told me to do a documentary on his time-hopping adventures, from East Germany to Moscow to Ukraine. Now, let's get started. Let's begin with recent history. 55 years ago, the Donald taught Wyatt, Peter Fonda, how to break Captain America, as if it were a wild Mustang, for Fonda's bike ride in Easy Rider. The year was 1969, when Wyatt and Billy, Dennis Hopper, rode through the American psyche, introducing rednecks to bikers, suburbs to communes, and drunks to drugs. In the credits at the end of the film, look for Bike Wrangler. It credits the Donald. On April 18, 1775, the Donald just happened to be in Boston on the night of Paul Revere's famous midnight ride. To announce the arrival of the British, he suggested to Paul that he use the phrase, "one if by land, two if by sea." Fast forward to the year 2024, a time during which the Donald was back at home in Florida, where he suggested to the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol that to announce uninvited visitors from the South, they use a variation of what he had suggested to Paul Revere, namely, one if by Rio Grande, two if by Florida coast. In the year 1225, on the outskirts of Nottingham Castle in feudal England, the Donald trekked into Sherwood Forest to track down Robin Hood, the highwayman, notorious for robbing valuables off the sheriff's wagons that ventured too close to the Merrymen's forest. The Donald befriended Robin and urged the woodsman to share more of his earnings with the poor serfs in the kingdom. Robin agreed with the Donald and began a new chapter in the Robin Hood myths as the leader of the bowmen who stole from the rich and gave to the poor. Thank you, Donald. When Julius Caesar arrived back in Rome, he announced, "I'm back." The Donald and a throng of Romans welcomed Caesar back to the headquarters of the empire. The Donald took Julius aside. He suggested to Caesar that he be more forceful in announcing his return, by shouting out, "Veni, Vidi, Vici." I came, I saw, I conquered. Caesar had left Rome in the year 20, and returned in 24. And so ends this episode of our introduction to the myths and time travels of the Donald. Tune in again for the next exploits of the time-hopping Donald. I'm Ivan Putin, saying, Do svidaniya.